Hey, Chicago. Welcome back to Chicago Speaks with Lori Elise. We so missed you guys. We're trying to get to you every single week. So we're on track for that. So anytime we're not here, we're just sad not to be here, but we're happy to be back. We had a few cancellations, so we have a shortened show, but it's just filled with such love and gratitude. I spoke with you all about a fabulous entrepreneur who just did a wonderful thing for a young couple that's in high school. And I want you to hear all about it. I want you to hear what's good in the hood. This is our What's Good in the Hood segment. And it's also going to be some conversation about our boss business segment. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. IntellectualRadio.com. We see you. We'll be right back.
Say why you do this to me. I'm growing older and realizing what life is doing. I came from the dirt, I'm straight off the boat. A new style, some new chains so I can boast. A new whip to make sure I move right. Mama, I made it, I swear that your boy gon' be tight. And we might face some problems growing up where I'm from. The 216, get Roddy saying who want this? He from the sud, I'm from the land with the dirt and the rust of the tub. Wanting to flashy things with CEOs ain't giving no love. Let me be chill. Skin the color of the savior, going through his adversity. Slash that's liars, crucifixion is hurting me. Bring out the worst in me, not so easy today. Growing up like I am, you learn from your pains. Yeah. Pain is a form of art, and I'm using my art to write this. I'm talking pencil in hand till it cramps like it's arthritis. Who would've thought I would fight this? Feeling thing and I'm nothing. Break away into pieces, till pieces bound to be coming.
I can feel your pain, it's oozing out your soul. So let it go. It's valuable.
Learning lessons and hoping they become blessings. If he don't fall, then he falls in my community. The golden ticket, this bully walking ain't new to me. It's all new to me. Such a statistic to say the least. Some like the pain, the pressure, and all the heat. But not me, not the anomaly. Just saying don't write me out when you know nothing about me. Yeah.
Chicago, we're back. We were here last week, week before last, with Andrea Dillon, who is the caterer extraordinaire to the stars and to everyone, really. And she and I had an opportunity to discuss lots of things in our boss business segment. But one of the stories that I shared when I was here with her last is a fantastic story that I heard about literally on WGN News. So the fact that, something fantastic in the Black community was noted on a newsworthy channel. We're not going to call it fake news. I hate hearing Trump or anybody else saying the word fake news. This is real news. Something positive that happened in the hood. So we created a couple of segments. One is boss business, and boss business, we really want to celebrate these different companies who've made it. I love hearing stories about whatever obstacles people had to go through in order to make it in business. But this heartwarming story is just fantastic. There's a gentleman who's sitting right here to my left, Mr. Early Walker. who owns W&W Towing, did a wonderful thing for these students, which was to pay for them to go to prom. And I don't even know if he knew them prior to oh my goodness, to doing this wonderful deed. And so I heard about it and I said, oh my gosh, they've got to be on the What's Good in the Hood segment. And a Boss Business segment. So you get a 2-for-1 here. So I'm super excited. I'm going to introduce you all to Early Walker, Shoshana Shepard, Theodore Thompson. Welcome to Chicago Speaks with Lori Elise, Intellectual Radio, iHeartRadio.com.
Hi, Lori. Thank you for having us.
Hi.
It's okay to speak. It really is okay to speak. The mics won't do anything to you. It's all right. So I have a few questions for you. So how did you hear about Shoshana and Theodore's story? And what was your inspiration? What moved you to do this?
Well, this year I wanted to be a blessing to a prom couple. And my towing company, we try to stay active in the community. And this particular year, I said, hey, you know what? We've never done anything as far as prom is concerned. And I wanted to be a blessing to a prom couple that was in need. And it just so happened that one of the administrators for their school district reached out to me. Said, hey, I got the couple that you need. She explained the story to me, and she told me the story. I mean, I was almost in tears. And I just said, you know what? This is it. This is the couple. So
Wow.
I reached out to them. She gave me their information, and we pretty much took off.
Wow. That is wonderful. And what was the story? Who wants to tell the story that really compelled you to decide to move forward with
Well,
this?
she just told me, she said, hey, I have 2 young kids that have recently had a young baby, in high school. They're trying to do the right thing. The parents kind of, trying to sway them, to the left, but they decided that they were going to be determined to stick it out, have the baby. And they, pretty much just say, you know what, hey, we're not going to do prom this year. We got a baby, that's more important. And I respected that. I respected the fact that, you got a young man that decided to stand up and say, hey, look, I'm going to be a dad regardless of what anybody says. And, that in itself, just deserved an award to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how did you two feel about this?
I was happy.
Yeah.
At first, we thought we weren't going to go to prom because of money trouble, and we had to take care of Skylar back there.
Well, I, for one, didn't really believe it, but when she told me when I had talked to her for the first time, I was like, oh, okay. I was surprised because, stuff like this don't really happen to everyday people. So I was like, stuff like this can happen in movies or on the movies or TV or stuff. I was like, but I was surprised. And I was like grateful for her. So I said, let's do it.
So this, I know that's right. I'm not gonna turn it down. I'll turn down nothing but my collar. I feel you on that. I got you. So what was it like? What was I saw the pictures, so I didn't see, I saw the segment on Channel 9, and I saw you look flawless. How they what's Beyonce, I woke up like this. You looked flawless. So what was the day of beauty like?
It was something new because I wouldn't expect it to look like that because I don't always look like that. Because it's like,
No, girl, you woke up like this. You
I know.
you gotta claim it, but go ahead.
I liked it. I looked like Cinderella. My sister said, at 12, make sure I be home at 12 o'clock so everything won't fall off. So it's gonna be a night to remember. So.
Wow. Is there anybody you can pub who did your makeup?
Okay, I guess it's back to me.
Okay.
My good friend Alexandra Nicholson, she has her own makeup artist company.
That's what I'm talking about.
And she's the one who actually did the makeup. My hairstylist, Libriana of Libriana Styles. Actually, today's her birthday, so happy birthday.
Wow.
She did the hair. Everybody just had a part in it. I had a good friend of mine, Tawana. She did the nails. It was a group effort. I got to give a shout out to Icon Hair Designs. They were the ones who actually let us use their facility the whole day and kind of turn their facility into a nail shop / hair shop / dressing room. We took over their shop.
Fancy.
So I definitely got to give a shout out to Icon Hair Designs. Bert, that's the actual owner. I mean, like I said, it was a great day. I mean, everybody came together. I mean, it was kind of like old school days where community came together for a good cause. And, I mean, I was definitely gracious to everybody that had a part in it. So
and this really reminds me, and I know Hillary Clinton kind of took on this term, but it really came out of the African community, which is it takes a village.
Mm-hmm.
It really does take a village. And, I just grew up with, if you got in trouble, even playing double dutch down the street, which no one seems to do anymore, excuse me, it would be the next door neighbor or 5 neighbors down the street that will say, listen, saw your kid doing X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm.
And it may seem bad at the moment, but what it really is we want to see you succeed. And that's people who see you on a regular basis who might come to like you or love you. Excuse me. But what to me is amazing about this story is this is a person who didn't know you at all. And so I said, I've got to meet this person. I don't care what I have to do. I don't care how long I have to wait. It's been a couple of weeks we've been trying to get them here, but they're here. I said, it's going to happen. So tell me about you. So did you wear a tux?
Yes, I'm a definitely
Okay.
did. I had on, what's that? Some loafers. There was a sister that wear loafers. I wasn't into that type of stuff. I had on some, what's they call it? I had on tuxedo. Well, it was sort of like a tuxedo with big tie. It was like blue and black with a little crayon.
Yeah.
Then, we didn't have no bouquets, so Ora brought us flowers and made us cups. We had cups.
Oh, shout out to Jay on the cups. I gotta remember, look, the cups and the t-shirts. Like I said, it was a group effort. Group effort.
It was. Yeah, I got my suit from Kenji Fashion. Shout out to Kenji Fashion.
Yeah.
Kenji. Yeah.
They want me to mention now.
What location?
The Lansing location. Kenji and Lansing, they were a big help. They kind of let us take over their place as well. So it was a group effort. A huge group community effort. I mean, it was just, as I started making calls, I actually had to where people were calling me back saying, hey, we want to be a part. People were donating, volunteering. It was crazy. It was to the point where, I was limited on what I had to do. Carolyn's Transportation, shout out to them for the limo.
Yeah.
Like I said, my good friend Marlon Riz. It's a long list. I'm probably missing somebody. Please don't get mad at me.
Well, you know what I'm going to do is
the dress.
The dress. Oh my God, yes. That was another one. Actually, she had 2 dresses. She had 2 dresses.
You're like, I had 1 suit. She had 2 dresses. I'm not liking the math.
Yep, good friend of mine. She said, hey, look, I got a dress. I got the perfect dress for her. Come get it. And like I said, I do. It was to the point where everything was falling in place. I thought, because getting into this whole prom thing, it's been a while since I've been to prom. So I didn't know it was as detailed. And so when I figured out what I got myself into, I was like, oh my God, what the heck is going to happen?
Yeah.
But it's a lot. It's a lot. The new 20th century proms are totally different than how proms were when I was even coming up.
But they're magical. It's almost like it's not real. I literally, on my way here, just before I got into the car, I just did a little Facebook scroll. And I'm scrolling down, and there's some couple in Philly. I used to live in Philly. So there's a young couple in Philly. Actually, it didn't even look like a couple. It looked like a dude with 2 women. Everybody was impeccably dressed. It looked like a cover of a magazine, but they had a camel.
Oh, wow.
Who has a camel?
Wow.
They had a camel.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're balling out. It's like, what is this person? Yep. A camel. They had it in Philly. Philly, they don't have backyards in Philly, but they got a camel.
I've heard a horse and chariot, but God, camel. Wow. These proms are like mini weddings now.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, what are you gonna do when you get married?
You gotta take it up a notch. Bigger, better, best. That's what I really honestly.
With a goat or something.
Right. Exactly. Where do you go from there?
Right.
But I have to admit, I saw today, and I'm gonna do a few shout outs to people who probably don't even know I'm doing shout outs, but Ava Randolph Dukes, she goes to New Life Church. I saw pictures on my way just before I got into the car. Liked a picture of her daughter going on prom. Looked exquisite. Another gentleman, I can't think of his name. He's a Kappa. Anyway, there's a number of people's children, young adults, that went on prom, and what I loved about you, and what I loved about you is you looked not only fantastic, but you looked age appropriate. You looked elegant. You looked like an elegant couple. I am so proud that he insisted that you wear the loafers.
Yes.
Because he knew what he was doing. So you were styled from head to toe. It sounds like you had a great time. I'm proud of both of you for continuing on. You know, it can be challenging. I personally, to a degree, lived your experience just a little bit older, but was in college, junior in college, when I was in a very similar situation. I got married, you know, soon thereafter. But I remember thinking, what the heck, you know, am I going to do? And, you know, there's more to that story that we won't go into right now. But what I'm proud of is it takes some grit. It takes some determination. It takes some faith, you know, to decide I'm going to do the tough thing. There's so many people, and I said last or week before last, there's no judgments. I'm not going to, only God can judge,
Right.
you know, and so there's beliefs that I hold on to from a biblical standpoint, but I'm not here to push my beliefs on to someone else. But I got to tell you, when people make the hard decision, a lot of times when you make that hard first step, I feel like God takes a step towards you. And you all were chosen. You all were selected by Early Walker, but you were also selected, to me, from a spiritual standpoint, to stand out, to be a shining example for others. So we're going to do a quick break. And when we come back, we want to talk about next steps. What are you looking towards the future? So we'll be right back. IntellectualRadio.com. Chicago Speaks with Lori Elise. We'll be right back.
Say why you do this to me. I'm growing older and realizing what life is doing. I came from the dirt, I'm straight off the boat. A new style, some new chains so I can boast. A new whip to make sure I move right. Mama, I made it, I swear that your boy gon' be tight. And we might face some problems growing up where I'm from. The 216, get Roddy saying, who want this? He from the sun, I'm from the land with a dirt and the rust in the tub. Wanting to flash things for CEOs and giving no love. Let me be chill. Skin the color of the Savior, going through his adversity. Flash that's live, crucifixion is hurting me. Bring out the worst of me, not so easy today. Growing up like I am, you learn from your pains.
Chicago, we're back. IntellectualRadio.com, iHeartRadio.com. Chicago Speaks with Lori Elise. Put a shout out for everything. It's like a mouthful. But I'm grateful, honestly. I'm grateful to be here. This is such, you know, everybody wants a platform, it seems like. Everybody is on Facebook and want to be known for this and want to be known for that. And I see the crazy pictures out there. Just, you know, it's a lot of stuff out there on social media. Let me just say that. But I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be able to shine a spotlight on things that are happening in Chicago. And sometimes it's going to be challenging things. You know, next week we're going to talk about some of the challenges that are happening in Chicago with the gun violence. And, you know, I'm happy to hear that some of the numbers are coming down with the fatalities, but it's still one person is one too many. So we're going to talk a little bit about that next week. We're going to talk about national news, what's happening around the world, internationally. You know, I've heard about what's happened in London. If this is a second attack, you know, I don't care I care about my community, but I also care about the world at large and what's happening. And so it does hurt my heart to hear about anyone who's been hurt in any kind of terror attacks or anything like that. And so we're going to get to some of those important topics next week, but we're also going to keep moving forward with highlighting local businesses and highlighting just what's good in the hood, different stories that move you to make you move and do something else. And so, on the break, I was talking to Shoshana and Theodore, very regal names. And I said, okay, listen, this is a fantastic thing that was done for you. What's next? What are you looking forward to? So what do you think next steps are for you?
Well, for me, basically, I'm continuing working, and I'm going to either try to go to school and or I'm going to do a trade, but most likely I'm going to offer up on Frank Zuccarelli. He came out to the farm and offered me he offered me some very good deals. He said he can, if I give him my resume, he can help me get a job working in his establishment and go to school. So I might continue going to school or doing a trade, working with electricity or computers.
All right, that sounds really good. In maybe 3 months, I will go to South Suburban and do 2 years there. And after I do my 2 years at South Suburban, I'm thinking about transferring to a 4-year university, probably at Roosevelt, to major in business so I can do my own business in cosmetology or something else to fall back on. And then probably do a trade school if I can do anything else.
That's wonderful. And I think, what I like also about your story, I used to say this also about myself. When I encountered some difficulties young in life, I used to look at myself as a cautionary tale. This is the thing you don't do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in time, I learned to view it as a testimony, because you can really, there's something that I'm writing called The Other Side of Decision. You can be on the other side of that decision. What's on the other side of that decision?
Right.
The other side of that decision is I'm going to learn a trade or go to school or take up, and we're going to ask you to speak a little bit about Frank Zuccarelli a little bit more, who offered you a possible opportunity, if you just put together a resume. And I love the fact that you're thinking even long term. Listen, I'm breaking down, to me, in order to get to, there's dreams that are just kind of ethereal. They're just kind of out there. In order to make that dream real, you have to put steps to it. You have to plan it out. And I think you're very forward thinking in the sense that you're saying, listen, I'm going to do 2 years here. I'm going to start off here. And then I think I'm going to move on to Roosevelt. They got nice dorms and new campus now. It's nothing like it was in the past. Let me just say that. I went there. So, you're talking about future, and breaking down how that future looks. And, offline, we talked about opportunities that I may have for them within my business. We'll circle back to that. It's not about me today. But, I just love that you're thinking about next steps. Here's what I also want you to think about. Once you get established, once you're moving forward, I want you to pay it forward. I want you to think about what Early Walker did and think about how can I make a difference in someone else's life, because that's what takes us forward as a people. I think one of our concerns or challenges, and I'm just speaking, even though our audience is everything, I'm just speaking about our own today. One of our challenges is we're waiting on somebody to help us fix the problem. Well, they won't offer us a job, or they walk across the street when we walk down the street. They won't do this. And you're right. It can happen. It's most unfortunate. So maybe we need to provide our own opportunities. Maybe we just hire within our own community if we have a job. Maybe you all will be in the position to bring other people on. And I'm going to share with you some information that I shared a couple of weeks ago about programs that I've heard about. There's a free coding program in Inglewood where you can learn about coding. That's a computer job that is in demand right now, pays pretty decent, it affords you a decent livelihood. And it gives you wings, gives you an opportunity to take on some other things in life. So we'll talk offline about that. We're always going to be talking about opportunities. But listen, I want to thank you both. I celebrate you for your decision, and that baby over there who's sleeping nice enough to sleep through the segment. I'm so grateful for that. Your baby crying in the background. And how about that? How about that? So thank you for coming. We're going to talk a little bit more with Early Walker when we come back. See you soon.
Say why you do this to me. I'm growing older and realizing what life is doing. I came from the dirt, I'm straight off the boat. A new style, some new chains so I can boast. A new whip to make sure I move right. Mama, I made it, I swear that your boy gon' be tight. And we might face some problems growing up where I'm from. The 216, get right and saying, who want this? He from the sun, I'm from the land with a dirt and the rust in the tub. Wanting to flashy things with CEOs and giving no love. Let me be sure. Skin the color of the savior, going through this adversity. Flash that's live, crucifixion is hurting me. Bring out the worst in me, not so easy today. Growing up like I am, you learn from your pains. Yeah.
Hey, Chicago, we're back. Chicago Speaks with Gloria Elise, iHeartRadio, IntellectualRadio.com. I'm telling you, it's going to roll off the tongue every time now. So we're sitting here with Early Walker, and now we're kind of transitioning into our Boss Business segment. So we know what's good in the hood, but we can kind of, we've eclipsed that a little bit. Not really eclipsed, but we want to talk about and speak with business owners. So I'd love to hear your story. You know, where you started, what made you want to go into this field, some of the challenges that maybe you've encountered. But again, I want to introduce you all again to Mr. Early Walker, W&W Towing. What are your locations?
We have a few locations. We have Blue Island. We're located in Blue Island, Illinois, Dixmoor, Illinois as well. We have a location in Hayes because we actually have a new location. We're going to be opening real soon in Matson. So we're trying to expand.
You are expanding, trying to expand. Okay, I appreciate the modesty, but you're really doing it.
We're trying. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, I'm glad you said struggles because that's definitely a key word in business.
Yeah.
We started this journey probably about 5-6 years ago now, and getting into it wasn't easy. I'm the typical story. I mean, I started with a Fred Sanford and Son truck, 84 Ford, and I just built my way up. I mean, I got to learn about being told no a lot.
That's a part of it, isn't it?
It is. I mean, credit is a key factor. I mean, I strongly encourage young people, pay attention to your credit. Don't mess your credit up. I mean, that's a key factor because getting into business, I mean, they even want you now to have a certain amount of years before they even consider giving you a loan. And I mean, that's a key thing because credit is everything. That's how you get your money. That's how you get your trust. So, I mean, hey, I had to tough it out for, a couple of years. I mean, with my Fred Sanford and Son truck. And luckily, I mean, you had some good customers that were in support of, the fact that, hey, okay, well, hey, he's determined, you know, and, shout out to Damon Williams, comedian. I mean, he was one of my first, customers that did. He supported me. I mean, it was funny because, when he called, I didn't know who he was, and I'm like, he was like, hey, I need a tow. I'm like, oh, crap, I get there. He won't tell me. He don't tell me to turn around. So, but you know what? He said, hey, man, come on. If it don't think you make it, he said, we're going to make it, right? I was like, yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate people like that. Just want to look back a little bit. I do want to say special thanks to Thornton Township Supervisor Frank Zuccarelli. He did give me a call the day of prom, and he was very interested in what was going on. And he said, hey, look, anything I could do to be of assistance. He said, hey, give me a resume on that guy. He actually came out to the prom send-off. So,
Wow.
I definitely want to, give him a special thanks. My publicist, Sean Howard, special thanks to him as well. I mean, he put everything together. I mean, I'm just, I'm as he always tries to joke, I'm just the man with the money. But hey, he's the one that's coordinating everything behind the scenes, making sure everything goes smoothly. So definitely special thanks to him as well. But
Wonderful.
one of the things that I said if I ever was to, get my business off the ground, I wanted to be a blessing. You hit it on the head when you said pay it forward. I mean, that's
Yes.
a key thing in business, and I try to run my business off of that motive. I mean, we do a lot of stuff for the community. We've been able to do a lot of stuff to bless a lot of people. I mean, send a water plant. Just this past year, I was actually named Humanitarian of the Year. And it's a blessing. I mean, I truly believe the more stuff we do, the more blessings we receive. We were able last year, just this past Christmas, a young 5-year-old young lady. I don't know if you guys heard about the story. She had lost her mom, to gun violence a couple of months before Christmas, and his family had pretty much given up on Christmas. So we found out about that story. Took that young lady, on a shopping spree, and told her, hey, get whatever you want off the shelves, and those are the type of things. The year before, same thing. We had another young lady. She had actually 3 kids, and their mom had passed, and so every Christmas we tried to, do something different for different families that are in need. And I truly believe that's what it's about.
That is absolutely what it's about. And it's so interesting. My best friend, I'll say her name, Carla Bass, she shared with me, she said, you know what, I believe this is a gentleman who's done a lot. She said, I think it's much more than this story that you've heard about. She said, I think it's a lot more. But I'm like searching and searching. I'm like, I'm doing my research in my eyes. But just to hear what you just said, I am blown away. I had no idea what you had done for Flint. I just think about that whole situation and think, is this really, really happening in America? And for you to take the step. So what was that about? Just getting people together, we're sending water.
Well, I'm always a strong believer in if you're in business and you're making money in these communities, you need to give back to the business.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to give back to the community. I'm sorry. And I mean, we found when we heard about what was going on in Flint, I said, hey, look, load the trucks up. I sent a call out to a lot of my other associates, tow truck buddies, and I mean, we were able to take, I think we would take 4 or 5 truckloads of water, down, and we actually served the water, throughout the communities. And I feel that's what it's about. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, like I said it again, I mean, if you're making money in these communities, you need to give back to the communities. And I'm a strong believer in that, paying it forward.
I believe that. And here's something else, and this is a conversation that I really want to have amongst business owners within a specific community and with aldermen. If you are in the community, if you are a business in the community, no matter the nationality, there should be a responsibility to contribute to the community. If you are a gas station owner, and especially if you don't look like your community, if you own a nail shop and you don't look like your community, but your money is being made off of this specific community, if you own a beauty supply and you don't look like the community, there should be an onus, there should be a responsibility that we request of our aldermen and say, listen, in order for them to make money from us, I have a slogan that I said literally in the car before I got here. And it used to be a negative sounding slogan, and I turned it around. I used to say, I don't do business with people who don't do business with me. And I turned it around, and I now say, I do business with those who do business with me. So you want everything to be positive. So if you are in our communities and you are making money off of the community, then there is a responsibility to contribute to that community. And I think you are the leadership. I think you are paving the way. So this is just the beginning. You think this was just coming here today. But I am trying to get together a community of young people, a community of leaders, a community of business owners to have a collective vantage point, a collective decision to make our communities better. I almost said something Trump-like, and I had to pull it back. I almost said, "Make America Great Again." No, I can't even. We are great with the right leadership.
Right.
So it's not making it great again. Obama made it great.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So we just need to keep moving forward with what President Obama initiated. How about, I didn't even know that there was a school. Someone told me recently, there's a school in Park Forest that is named after the Obamas. I had no idea. I think it's 2 individual schools.
Yeah.
So, that is fantastic. So let me ask you this. One of the challenges, it sounds like, that you had to overcome was not being able to get that loan, for credit. What would you say was your hardest obstacle in getting started? A lot of people don't move forward because they don't know what the founding principles are of getting this business moving from the beginning. What were the challenges in the beginning? What did you overcome? And what are some of those success stories?
Well, I think Steve Harvey said it best. I think the biggest challenge was me jumping.
Yeah.
And in business, you got to take that jump. And I used to work for the Board of Education, and I think that's a great job to have. I mean, you're off on holidays, off during the summer. And, when I decided to leave the Board of Education, I think I talked about it. What are you talking about leaving? And when I told them to start my own business, they even started talking about me more. Like, dude, are you idiot? Like, but I had to take that jump. And in leaving there, I pulled my pension down, and I used that money. I used all my pension money to buy me a tow truck. And I think that was the biggest obstacle. At the time I was a new dad, so it's like so much stuff going on in my head. Like, okay, what if this don't work?
Yeah.
It's like,
absolutely.
how am I gonna raise my kids? I was like, okay, I don't want to work at McDonald's, but so
nothing wrong with people working at McDonald's.
It's not. I just don't like burgers like that. But anyway, but it was just so much stuff going through my mind.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that was my biggest issue, and so. Taking that leap, taking that jump is a huge step. And I'm glad I did. Like I said, I started with one truck. My first couple of trucks, I had to buy cash. I'm being honest. It was a hustle. It was a hump. It was, but I worked my way through it. And now I have a fleet of trucks. Yeah. And even with the trucks, I dedicate the trucks to a lot of different, things that I have a breast cancer truck. I have a lupus truck. I have a Stop the Violence truck. They did a story on that. I think it was last summer. We did a Stop the Violence initiative with Bishop Trotter. Shout out to Sweet Holy Spirit as well. I got so many shout outs.
Right. But get them all out. We need a running list.
But like I said, I tried to everything that has anything to do with WWE Touring. I tried to make it a community positive, oriented type of situation, and I believe that's the reason why we continue to get less. A person asks me all day. People say all the time, "You're just a touring company." Well, hey, look, I'm a touring company that makes money in the community. And if I'm making money in your community, guess what? I need to be giving back to you.
Right. And you helped me to see it in a positive light. I got to be honest with you. Some years ago, the thought of a tow truck going down the street was a little scary. I want to say this is like 10 years ago. When you've got your money is tight and you're like, did I make that car note? Did I take care of things? I would see people, and I would find it menacing, to see tow trucks, go down the street. But you put a positive spin on this. And one of the things that I also wanted to bring up, I said this, or put this on Facebook maybe like a year ago. I did management for like 10 years and operations management, and mostly retail stores. And I would talk to people about, it's just like what you said, it's taking that jump from something safe, something with the 401k. Andrea Dillon spoke to this. She said, it's interesting when people try to tell me about my business from the comforts of their 401k. I love how she put that, because basically what she's saying is, listen, I don't have all those warm and fuzzy bells and whistles without having to pay, an outrageous amount for them. So you have to step into my shoes before you can really direct traffic. Things that I said to people or stated in getting started is to start. Is not only to start, maybe you have a business, and we'll talk about this in the future because I have a whole program directed towards this. Maybe when you get those taxes, everybody gets a little bit of something. You get 3,000, you get 4,000, you get 5,000, you get 6,000. This is when people become hood rich.
There you go.
Right. Suddenly it's like I'm balling out, right, with me and my $4,000, But what I say to people is once you get that tax money, instead of buying, the new wardrobe that is not going to appreciate with time, instead of buying that car that is going to depreciate as you drive off out the dealership, think about partnering with someone else who has similar goals, because your 5,000 next to someone else's 5,000, next to 5 other people's $5,000, maybe that is a cafe. Maybe that's a beauty supply. Maybe that's a hair salon. Maybe that's a nail salon. Maybe you can offer services and you actually look like the community that you're offering the services to. And what I also say is you can't go into business with everybody, so you really want to think through and vet this person if you don't know them, or go into business with like-minded people. If you've got, a spiritual mind to do certain things a certain way, and folks like to do things under the table or something like that, that ain't your crew.
Right.
You were about to say something?
Well, no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I mean, to add to that, I always tell people that want to go in business by themselves, it's not going to be easy. People see the facade and they see, even now, they see how it is now, and they don't know how it was starting. I mean, I've went a whole week, sometimes 2 weeks without one toe. Yeah. And you got bills and you ain't got no money in the bank, and you ain't had no toes. It's like, now you start scratching your head like, what, I'm going to sell this tow truck. But, so, I mean, but you got to keep going. Yeah. That's really what it boils down to, is that you got to keep pushing, because at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's not about, okay, hey, well, I'm going to make money every day, because you're not. I mean, it's not about, hey, well, I'm going to have a set schedule, because you're not. I mean, that all comes with time. Yeah. I mean, people just look, like I said, look at the side, they say, oh, man, I can go buy me a truck, and I can go and start me a salon, and I can go and do it. But no, it's a certain mindset. And I tell people that, because at the end of the day, you have to discipline yourself on day-to-day operations, because if you don't look at your own company as a job or as a regular company, 9 to 5, whatever, you're not going to have any type of organizational skills. I mean, people think, okay, well, hey, I go into business for myself, I can just do what I want to do. No. Yeah. No. Because guess what? You spend that money you made today, you don't know when you're getting the next dollar. You don't know when you're getting the next $10. So, hey, you know what? You got to almost budget differently than the average person that's working a 9 to 5. Because I don't know when I'm making my next dollar.
Right. That's absolutely. And I have lived this existence where I would get, Chicago, I mentioned it before, but I have a concierge company. And I would get projects or event management. So we do home management, errand and lifestyle, and corporate concierge services. So I get a project for like $6,000 or $8,000. Okay, that seems like some money, right? That seems like something. But in my mind, it's like I got to pay these people to do it. I got to get lighting and staging. I got to get this. I got to get that. And then what's left, I got to live out for the next month until the next gig. And that's how it started. Now it was funny. I had this hiring event yesterday, and we're hiring for a lot of different jobs. And we're partnering with a government agency that helps us I love this agency. They're called Breast Care. And their role is to get people jobs. Mm-hmm. They get paid from the government to get people jobs and to qualify them. You can give them your training program, and they will train these people and really find qualified people. One of the best hiring events I've ever had, some of the most qualified people that I've ever met. But she kept saying, Lori, do you want to take a break? Lori, take a break. When you are the business owner, I don't know what a break is. I said, okay, let me give me my swig of coffee. Let me take a little bite of my donut. And I just kept plowing through. You just have to keep going. And I think that's one of the biggest messages. Keep going. Mm-hmm. People are not going to necessarily believe in you. You got to get used to rejection. If this person says no, another person will say yes. And I would literally be the face of the community. So the home management services, house cleaning, home organizing, staging for realtors, relocation service. We would have to do a little bit of everything. So I'd have the dress on in the day, get a contract signed. I'd switch out, put on my uniform, and do some organizing. Switch out, maybe have to clean or get landscaping services for someone. And that was how the day went. And I'm like, at the end of the day, and one of my friends, Andrea Dillon, who was here last time, she said, she's a caterer and she caters to a lot of celebrities. And someone said to her, "Are you passionate about food?" She said, "No, I'm passionate about these lights being on. That's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about heat.
There you go.
And a house, So I get that. That is, these are pearls of wisdom. So I'm looking forward to you coming back.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm looking forward to having every chair filled for our Boss Business segment, and each of you giving us pearls of wisdom to take that next step. That's what we're looking forward to. Chicago, thank you. We so appreciate you being here with us. Even if we get cancellations, we're going to try to make it here from now on. Chicago Speaks with Lori Elise, IntellectualRadio.com, iHeartRadio, Early Walker, Shoshana Shepherd, Theodore Thompson. We thank you all. Until next week.